Welcome to Amazing Living Studios. This week, we are excited to join Angel Cafe as we present an extraordinary interview with a spiritual twist to the business world. We are intrigued to interview the creator of the Inner Business Guide. Dennis Gabriel Smith is a business leader, overseeing training for a global Fortune 75 company, as well as a spiritual leader with the Americana Leadership College, an organization founded on freeing people to communicate directly with their spiritual source. He has toured the world presenting programs and has been featured on radio, television, and numerous articles. Today, we get to sit down with Dennis and enjoy a cup of Inner Business Guide. Good morning, Dennis. How are you doing?
Doing great. How you doing?
Oh, wonderful. We're really excited to have you here today with us. And have a whole bunch of questions that I received. Dennis, with your experience with business and spirituality, tell me, how do they fit together? I mean, they seem polar opposites.
Business is kind of misunderstood. If you look at business, if you replace it with the word agreement, it might fit better. But really, business is the nature of planet Earth. It's what the system is so that we can have souls of different levels of consciousness around the world join together and do something greater. Obviously, there's been people that have abused it, and it's kind of dirtied the water as far as what business is. There's some people that are, use it, they over-organize it and use it to take advantage. There's some people that run from the word business and never organize so that they can actually live their dream or create abundance. So it's a vehicle that was created for planet Earth to work together. I'll give you a good example. I was in a computer store, and it was obviously, the store was run with people of the Muslim faith. They had a lot of signs and different things around the facility and music, and it was nice. And while I was standing there, a person came in with this laptop that had, Jesus all over it, and he had Jesus tattoos, and I thought this was going to be kind of interesting. And what happened was a really good example of why business is so important. This person came in with different beliefs, in polar opposites, but because they had the common denominator, they had a beautiful situation. There was a problem with this laptop. It was fixed almost right away. Both of them were smiling and happy, and they left and went happily their way. But if we don't have that common denominator in life, we're kind of limited in what we do. And Spirit can use that common denominator to work with people throughout the world to be of service. And we're going to get into what that means, really, to be of service as well.
Well, then, how would you define business as a vehicle for spirituality?
If you look at it from the point of view of we're here to learn, we're here to grow, and the more experiences we have with other people, the more we're going to grow. So we need a common denominator. It's like playing basketball. If you don't know what the sidelines and the rules are of that game of basketball, and you run out there and you start throwing things around, you don't know what you're doing, you can't really relax. You can't play the game. So the rules of business are there to keep things clean and clear so that people can flow and they can actually get involved in the process and enjoy it. And as long as you're aware spiritually why you're in an opportunity, you can actually live your whole purpose, no matter what's going on, in that business environment. I mean, I'm in a very sophisticated business environment, but because I know what I'm doing there spiritually, I'm amazed constantly what Spirit can do with me as far as helping people, help them to learn how to communicate, how to be part of something greater. That's a really neat feeling when you have that kind of balance.
Do business leaders really get this?
I would say that they're getting it more and more. There's something called the conscious capitalism movement. And there are leaders around the world in very large organizations that are getting this. They want to learn it. They want to understand it, because the bottom line is that if you want to grow and you want to be of service to people, the economy is changing so fast that you really need to go to a deeper level of service, a deeper level of understanding people, and they are doing that. You'd be surprised some of the things that they're getting into. It used to be servant leadership, but now it's, conscious capitalism, which is beyond any type of one religion. And so there are leaders around the world getting this. But the important thing for people to realize is, regardless if someone else outside of you gets it, you can get it. and be successful, spiritually and in business.
So I'm trying to get a little clearer idea. Can you give me some examples of clear business being an opportunity to grow spiritually and reach the people we are here to serve?
Sure. I'll take my organization as an example, or different organizations that I've consulted with. What you have is in our situation, you have people from around the world. They have different beliefs, different understandings, different relationships to men and women, all these different levels of self-understanding as well as relationship with others. When you have clear vision, policies and procedures, things that allow people to actually gain confidence. I know for myself, when I first started, I didn't know what I had. It wasn't taught in really school. And so my level of confidence was really low. And I had a mentor. I had somebody that took me and said, I want you to be in charge of this project over here. And, I was scared at first, but, I did it. And this inner confidence came out that, hey, I have something. And not only that, I started to expand it until I started to see the continuity of my soul from lifetimes. So the more opportunity that we have to lead in a clear situation, we start to find out what is our uniqueness. What is it that we bring to the table that makes us feel fulfilled and can help other people? And the amazing thing is that I remember one time I was sitting in a room with about 60 people, and I asked each one of them, I went around the room, I said, where is the best place you've ever worked and why? And it wasn't money, it wasn't benefits. What it was that a place where they could use their full potential. Imagine yourself being able to use what you've come here with. That's fulfillment. That's the dream job. And so people can actually recognize that and live that in their life. And it's not like they have to go to this terrible situation and then, get tired and then come home and just watch TV. They can actually begin to see how it all fits. We're in the perfect opportunity right now for us to grow spiritually. If we recognize it, if we can go inside, and that's what the Inner Business Guide, that's what this whole event coming up is about, is how do we take this kind of, I call it flow meditation. How do we go into this place where we can understand the flow of what's going on and use it? And I can give you some examples of that, how I use it in my business, that just is much faster and much more successful.
It seems like people that come to Angel Cafe, there's a little bit of terminology that we all are learning. And I wanted to know, what is a inner direction or a thrust, as you put it?
A thrust is something that was coined by the founder of the Americana Leadership College. It's something that a lot of us are instructors with. And a thrust is your life purpose. It's your vibration. Now, some people talk about, their life purpose is what they do, but it's really how you do it. How do you go about what you do? What's your style? What's your continuity? It comes from eons of time. So a thrust is really having that inside. And so whatever you do, if you turn left or you turn right or you go forward or whatever you do, you're in this rhythm of what is it special, about you as a person. And so when you know what your inner direction is, all of life pretty much makes sense after that. You start to work through issues that you have, but you're coming from within instead of fighting these outside battles.
So how does this inner guidance or angels play into this?
You'd be surprised how many people in leadership are using this, and they can call it a variety of things, but it's your intuition. It's your be able to read between the lines. I know for me in my business, and we've got another person here, Vonnie Owens, who may be able to share a little bit about this too, but it's like how to actually read between the lines. And even though there's some, a lot of jargon or a lot of, people talking, I can inside hear or feel what the truth is and where things, could go. And as a result, I don't have to be necessarily smarter than anybody else in the room. I can just relax and, be able to follow that intuition as it plays out. It allows me to be a part of things greater than myself because spirit. And this is one of the things that the conscious capitalism and business is learning, that when you have a higher purpose, everything kind of starts to funnel behind it, whether it's the people in the organization or all the different external things that kind of flow together. So inner guidance is huge, and it's something that we can all have. We can all communicate with our angels. And Bonnie, I don't know, you've had some experience working with that. Did you want to say anything about that?
Sure, Dennis. My experience of working with my angels in business and what you're speaking of, reading between the lines, I do this quite a bit. It's a matter of trusting myself and trusting my sensitivity, being able to see and to feel the various energies. It helps to not to really discern what's really going on in a situation. And my angels work with me very closely with this, and it's a great tool to have in my belt, if you so to speak. Does that answer your question?
Sure.
I just wanted to bring up one term you just used, conscious capitalism. I'm sure there's probably people out there listening right now that's not quite figured out what that means. Can you give a definition?
Sure. It's an international organization. It's not affiliated with any kind of one group or spirituality. It's just business leaders. The founder of there's people that are involved in it, from the founder of Container Store, Interstate Battery. There's just the Whole Foods. And there's just a lot of leadership involved. And so it's conscious means you're aware of not only your stockholders, but your stakeholders. That means the planet, that means people, that means a higher purpose. And that's a comprehensive, holistic view of business. And believe it or not, people are looking at business as a spiritual opportunity. It's not just to take from things. It's a common denominator so we can do greater things. Just because people have poor motives doesn't mean you throw the whole system out. You realize the value of it, and you create that sense of balance inside as we're moving forward. And leadership, now's the time. I mean, there are people right now around the world doing this. We really need leaders. We need people that can know themselves and be able to do what they've come here to do, to create more opportunity. And that's kind of what it's about.
That's an interesting concept. I like that idea. Wish there was more spirituality out in a lot of businesses that we work, especially in our own jobs. What would you say?
That's the thing I want to talk about, because there is. We may not see it. And the people around us, we may think that this is not the right opportunity for us. But the reality is that we chose that opportunity for a reason. And it's to probably be a leader. And it may be challenging, but it's there for us to be more loyal to ourselves, to be who we really are, find a way to do it. One thing I found is that there's a 1,000 different ways to be spiritual in a lot of different areas. So if you're there for a reason, find out from the inside why. And what is it that I'm here to do, if I'm here to do something? And so then that actually refines a skill that you'll need later on for a different opportunity. I'm not saying we have to suffer through situations, but there's some lesson that's there for us, or we wouldn't have been in there in the first place.
That puts a little different twist on when we're working day in, day out at a particular job. If we think about it that way, that there's a reason given to us for being there at that moment in time. And I really like that concept.
Kind of a good thing to do I kind of have a policy that I don't want to leave an opportunity until I understand why I attracted it. Some people leave opportunities and they recreate the opportunity later. Like I'm going to move to Las Vegas, or I'm going to move to Canada. It usually recreates what you had wherever you are. If you don't understand, what is it that is the lesson? And as soon as you understand the lesson, the opportunity will change.
What would you say are some of your highlights working with this balance of spiritual and business?
Freedom, I would say that's the biggest thing. As a soul, as you're growing, as you grow more, you need more autonomy, you need more freedom. And that's something that we kind of earn along the way, but as you have that freedom, you can do more. You can, within the opportunity, you can move in and out when you need to. Or you can move around the world, whatever you want to do, because you've got yourself organized. Some people are not really organized, and They may rebel, and the reality is they're limiting themselves, their freedom. When you know how to play the game, you can play it, and you can, when no one's, if I'm at a stop sign and no one's looking, I'm gonna, go right. I'm gonna go through the stop sign. The reality is that this is a game, and we're here to respect each other, but not get caught in it. So that's the whole thing: is understand yourself, understand the game, and play it. Enjoy it. Live your life. Whatever your dreams are, whatever the different things you want to create, there's a lot. This whole place is about opportunity. And when you're clear about that, then everything else kind of gets behind it as far as in line with it.
Today's world is getting a little bit scary for people, and I feel that people are reaching out for some answers or trying to just gain some sense to what is happening around us. What do you think is taking shape in the world right now with this understanding?
I think the first thing to realize is that there's several things going on. One is that planet Earth is a school. It will always be a school. So if you think that this place is going to be perfect, you may be kind of, wasting your time, because the reality is there's always going to be new souls coming into the school. There's always going to be growth. People need challenges. They need opportunities that are not perfect for them to grow. So the only thing we really need is to mind our own business. What did we come here for? What is our purpose? And if we're so involved in living our purpose, the whole world becomes this positive avenue. I've experienced this for myself. When I'm leaving my world, the world is wonderful. And it's so many amazing things happening all the time, everywhere. If I'm kind of not living my world and I'm reading the newspaper or watching news, I'm captured. I'm part of the drama. And that's a lesson into itself. But that's not what's the real. There's so many different levels of real. You can say that things are worse now than they've ever been, but I doubt it. I would say things in the Middle Ages and different parts in our history were much worse. So if you focus on the negative instead of minding your own business, you'd probably be wasting a little bit of time and not really doing what you've come here to do. So that's what I see. I think that there's tremendous momentum if people get in the river and start to do things. But it's free will. Everyone has a choice to do whatever they want to do.
So do you feel that if we connect with spirit or angels, that would, help us from getting involved in all this drama that's going around?
Absolutely. Vonnie, you might want to share a little bit about that. But I know for me, when you're living your joy, you don't have much room for drama. And that's kind of where I'm at. Bonnie, you want to say anything about that?
Sure, Dennis. For me, when I'm living my thrust, as we touched base on that just a little while ago, that's where my joy is. And when I'm working with my team of angels, my helpers, everything's just flowing in harmony, and it's just beautiful. Now, that's not to say that I might have some ups and downs in my life, but those are, as Dennis alluded to, were just challenges. I needed a little bit of a challenge so that I could master that, so that I can continue on and have that sense of freedom and joy and inner delight. And that's about what it's when we say being at the right place at the right time. That's when you know that everything is just flowing and everything is really wonderful. So to me, that's really what it's all about.
So I want to know, if I'm coming to work really happy and I'm in a really good space and I walk in and then somebody says something or throws something at my desk that really, quote, would anger me, how do I turn it around? By using angels.
I can imagine somebody just joyously hopping along and skipping along the path. The thing is we need to be aware. We need to discern. And when you set your energy ahead of time with your angels, you may get key words. You may get some insights about something that's going to happen. I know it happens for me all the time. But yes, it happens. People will, my buffer as far as who I am, they may infringe on it a little bit, but we can create that space that is our buffer. And, the trick of the whole thing is to sense things when it's at arm length or out there farther before it hits you in the face. So that's the great question. That's exactly what guidance are about, is to guide us down the path so we don't have to learn by trial and error all the time, but we can learn by faith and confidence. And that's what the event is going to be. It's about how do you get to that space, that meditation space where you can just immediately let go of things that are not you. You acknowledge them, you release them. Acknowledge them, release them. There's tools, and that's what's coming up. We're going to do it, I think we've got the dates set up for that, but it's going to be an opportunity for people to actually go deeper and to get the tools to be able to make this practical. There's nothing new. We're just going to share our experience and give some opportunity for you to actually unfold your experience. But I did want to do one thing, Alicia. I think that people who are listening may find a value. And what that is basically is a lot of people come to the Angel Cafe are spiritual or exploring spirituality, but one of the things you need to do is kind of ask the right questions. Ask a question that you can get some really clear insights on. One of the questions that I wanted to kind of go into, if people are out there, if they want to write it down, but the question is, what is the key thing for me right now for my success? What is the key thing for myself right now for my success? It's going to be in one of three categories usually. Do I need more energy, which is enthusiasm? Do I need more organization, which is like systems and everything like that? Or do I need more communication? Because each of us, if you have those three things mastered, you'll be successful. So you either need more energy, which is some spiritual regrouping, getting cleansed, going to something that will help you get cleansed, getting relaxed, going to nature, really expanding your energy. We have a cleansing technique that helps people do that. Do I need more organization? That's kind of what the Inner Business Guide is about, is how do you put the pieces together so you can flow? And that's actually what the event is called, is flowing with meditation. And then communication, which is like this radio show or other opportunities. We need to get our word out there. We can't just let it think that things are going to roll into our door. We have to get our flow out there so that we can have things come back to us.
You're basically talking about taking action, making a decision and taking action, and you have to put a little bit of work into it, correct?
Yeah, we'll get an impression, get organized, take action.
Thank you. If they have questions they would like to ask you other than that, or maybe pertaining to this particular question, how can they write? Is there an address they can write to?
Sure, they can go to the website, which is innerbusinessguide.com, just like it sounds, Inner Business Guide. There's also alcworld.com. That stands for Americana Leadership College. That's a real good training ground for anybody that wants to do this. And these programs that are coming up are based on that work. We're going to do an introduction on March 25th. It's free to the public. It's on Wednesday, 6 to 7 p.m. It's in Fort Worth at the Thomas Place Recreation Center. You can see this at the Inner Business Guide under events or the ALC World site under events. But basically what we're going to do at that event on the 25th is to go into experiencing your flow, get a bigger picture of how it works, how the universe works, so that we can put the pieces together. We have a lot of the pieces, but sometimes we just need to put them together. And that's what that event is going to be. It's going to be about an hour, so everyone can get a real good taste of the whole thing. And we'll answer any questions there, as well as they can email us through either one of those sites.
And do you have any other events coming up in this source of business inspiration and leadership?
Yeah, there's going to be some workshops. I would suggest everyone comes to the introduction first. If they can't make to the workshop, the introduction on the 25th, there's going to be a workshop on the 29th. I believe that's a Sunday. It's RSVP, and you can basically go to the websites to email the RSVP, or you can go ahead and show up at the event. And there's also Facebook. If you look under Facebook, under Inner Business Guide, you'll find our Facebook site. So, it's all there. And I'm sure they can get a hold of the Angel Cafe or Amazing Living Studios as well.
Vonnie, you look like you have something on your mind. Do you have something you'd like to say?
That's pretty psychic being on radio.
Isn't that the truth? That just goes another way to show how our angels and our spirit guides are working with us and how we are all so very sensitive. Yes, Dennis, you were talking about having these three different perceptions of energy and organization and communication. What happens if a person feels like they just don't have enough energy? How can they re-energize themselves? Through meditation, or is there some other tools that one can assist themselves with, or to enhance themselves with, to have that better sense of energy?
Well, we are energy, so the key thing is to relax. And that means, could be a lot of things. There's a really direct technique called cleansing that we do in this work that just instantaneously will change you, so that you can have flow and you can work with your guidance, communicate with them, get clear about situations, get your own answers. There's no gurus in this program, so you can find your own answers. So I'd say cleansing is a pretty powerful technique. But mostly to realize that it's relaxation. We can just relax and let go with the flow. That's the motto of this event. Go with the flow.
That sounds absolutely awesome.
I think so too.
That's an excellent idea. Put a little bit of meditation music on behind it, right? Is that okay? That won't mess things up, will it?
Oh, that just makes it even better.
Okay. Well, we're getting down to the line when we need to wrap things up. Is there anything else you would like to share with us, Dennis, today?
I'd just like to say that there's, there's always, if we're searching for something, we have something that we're trying to figure out. It may not be this, but it will come from somewhere. Just be sincere to know that if you're looking for an opportunity with the universe, I know this was true for me. When I wanted answers from things outside of me, it was always confused. But when I wanted to find the answers myself, and I just wanted an opportunity, there's an old saying, if you give a hungry person a fish today, they come back hungry again tomorrow. But if you give them a fishing pole, they're free forever. So to me, that's what this is about, is people that are looking for something but want to do it themselves, want to find their answers and become their own connection to their source. That's what it's all about. And the tools and everything that are here are to help people who are wanting that freedom.
Wow, that's great. I really learned a lot today, and I am looking forward to some more interviews like this with many other of your leaders from Americana Leadership College, I hope, that will come to Angel Cafe and share their experience. I really appreciate it, and thank you very much. And thank you, Bonnie, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. It's time now to leave Angel Cafe, and we hope you enjoyed your cup of Inner Business Guide. Have a great day, and come on back again soon to join us at Angel Cafe and Amazing Living Studios.